Welcome back, everyone, to week 2 of our Getting My Legacy Organized. Last week, we dove into organizing our photos, and I hope you've all started and are making progress. Today, we're shifting gears to talk about organizing videos, audio recordings, and important documents, including those all-important genealogy records. Even if you're not a genealogist, we all have records that we have in our own collection that we may want to have for safekeeping. These are the pieces of our legacy that often get overlooked, especially those videos, but they are just as vital to telling our family stories, so let's get at it. As I spoke about last week, we're all gathering all those items to make your scary box. We need to include the videos and cassettes, those VHS tapes, 8mm, 16mm films, etc. Once you've done that, it's time to get them digitized. This might involve converting old VHS tapes to digital files or transferring cassette recordings onto your computer. There are services that can do this for you if you don't have the equipment at home, which I didn't, and I didn't have the technology. But we're going to talk about some other options later. And you'll find some of them in the handout. You might wonder why I have a cross and a party on the same slide, but I have a story for that, and I'm all about the stories. I remember going through my dad's home, and we were looking for a cassette recording of his parents singing The Old Rugged Cross. We finally found it, and I said, "We can't listen to this, because the tape is so old it might break, and then we'll be out of luck." At the time, I took it to the Alberta Archives to have it digitized, because it was really the only place I could think of where they could digitize cassettes. So it wasn't longer than maybe 2 minutes, if it was even that long, but it cost me $100 to have it digitized. Then I had it digitized at Forever, and it was done for just a fraction of the cost, even with the exchange. And I believe it's as good, if not better, copy than what I got from the archives. In the handout, I've put a link in the folder to my account, and you can listen to the recording of my grandparents singing. They were not professional singers, and you're going to realize that. But for my dad, myself, and the rest of the family, those recordings are priceless. So what about the party? Well, while we were looking for that Rugged Cross tape, I came across another tape, and so I sent it into Forever as well. What it was a tape that was made at one of my parents' parties, and it's a hoot to listen to. Tape recorders were obviously something brand new, and they were going around interviewing people at the party like it was a news show. So it was a real treat, and you never know what you're going to find. I know there were some beverages involved, so as you listen to it further, it gets funnier. But I didn't put a link to that in the handout. I also have a tape that my mother made of all the recordings from her telephone machine. Remember your telephone answering machine that you physically had sitting on your table? My mother took the recordings that the children made when they phoned her and my dad, wishing them happy birthday. So there's years of them singing happy birthday, including there's even one of me singing happy birthday, and I didn't know anything about that. So you never know what you will find. Let's talk a little bit more about converting those old VHS tapes and cassettes. I know it can be it's daunting to tackle outdated formats, but it's so rewarding to bring those memories into the digital age. If you're up for a DIY project, there are converters available that can help you transfer VHS tapes to your computer or cassette to other digital audio files. It takes a little while, and there's a learning curve, of course, but it's worth it to preserve those old movies and voice recordings. If DIY isn't your thing, there are also professional services that can do this for you. Many of these will even enhance the quality of the recordings as they convert them, which is a nice bonus. Just make sure you choose a service that returns your originals in good condition along with your new digital copies. Now, in the case of Forever, if you send in a Forever box, they will sell you a jump drive or a DVD And if you have paid storage, then you can upload it to your account, or otherwise you can also download it to your computer. I do know that some libraries carry the equipment to digitize, so you might want to check your local library. And if you check Amazon, they also have products that can help you. And I believe I put a link to the Amazon things that I found in the handout. So as I said, Forever offers boxes that you purchase, and then Forever ships the box to you. You fill it up and then send it to Forever for digitization, and then they send the items back to you along with that USB or DVD if you purchase it. Once you get your videos and audio recordings digitized and organized, then we need to talk about storing and sharing them. For storage, it's crucial to have backup, ideally one local copy or an external, on a local copy, an external drive, and one in the cloud. So that's that 3-2-1 kind of idea. So this way you protect your files from potential hardware failure or accidental deletion. If you keep your physical copies, then it's important to make sure that they're stored correctly. And I've put in the handout some ways of storing your physical copies if you choose to keep them, because it's crucial to take steps that prevent deterioration over time. VHS tapes and other old formats are particularly vulnerable to environmental factors like temperature, humidity, and dust. So you'll find that information in the handout, and there's quite a bit of information. Did you know that you should store them standing up? But you might be like one of my clients that I picked up some tapes from the other day, and there was 38 of them, and she's having them digitized, and her plan is to throw them away. It's always your choice. When it comes to sharing, think about who in the family would appreciate having access to these recordings. If you can create a shared family folder in a cloud service where you can view and download videos and audio files, then that's perfect. If privacy is a concern, many cloud storage services allow you to control who has access to specific folders. This makes it easy to share those precious moments while keeping everything secure. And I'll mention, as always with Forever, your things are private. They are not data mined, and you choose who gets to look at your things. And there's ways of doing that. Next up, let's focus on those crucial family documents. These don't have to be family histories. They can be anything. I have a folder called When I Die, and in it I have my will, power of attorney, my digital asset list, as well as my family history. For my genealogy, I have not only these things, the things that I have backed up on my computer, but I also have the same files in the cloud. Forever, but you can use other cloud storage sites such as Google, iCloud, or Dropbox. The reason I like Forever is that it's private and there is no data mining, as I said before, and it's preserving my things for my lifetime plus 100 years, and I can also choose when my files are open to the public after I die. They also have something called connections and groups, so I can give someone access just to the family line I want to give them to. So as I think I showed you last week, these are my various surname folders, and so I can give the Thompson cousins the 02 Thompson Oliver genealogy, whereas the Middlebrough cousins, I can give them the 02 Middlebrough Beaton genealogy. So you choose what they get to see. So this works also if you have like maybe you belong to a sport club, you could have a file for that, and you could just give the people on your team access to that. If you've been doing genealogy for a while, then you probably already have documents on your computer and you've got a system. Mine is the system that what I have here is the same as what I have in my computer, and I continue to use that same system at Forever. I can show you how you can move them and maintain your own system, because sometimes people go, well, I'd like to move over to Forever, but I want to maintain the same file system. Well, we have a program for that. If you're new to genealogy, then start by gathering certificates, your important documents, and sorting them by types or family members. For physical documents, consider storing them in acid-free sleeves or archival quality folders. If you haven't already, now is the time to scan these documents so you have digital backups. For digital files, organize them in the way that makes sense to you, perhaps by family branch or by document type. You're really in the driver's seat. You have to store your files the way that makes sense to you. On a panel on a YouTube show called Mondays with Mert, and this was a topic of discussion when, what do you do with all the stuff? Someone was asking on a Facebook post about some documents they had and what to keep. It was a birth certificate, and they wondered if they should keep the original request, the check, so it gives you an idea of how long ago they had purchased this. They also had the documents they received and the paperwork that came along with it. As it turned out, Melissa Barker, the archives lady, was watching our YouTube show, and she said all you need was the certificate, which was great info because it confirmed what I would have said. Dear Myrtle, who hosts the show, said in the metadata, or in my case, the light box on forever, on my photo, the items in those items you could put a citation in the source of the document. If you're not certain about citations, then you can go to Site Builders, so that's CITE-BUILDER.com, and they have a free and a paid version that you might find helpful. And what it does is you can go in and build your citation based on, first it asks you what are you trying to preserve, and you build your citation, and it works really well because I don't know about you, but citations are one of my challenges, and so this makes it a whole lot easier. Here you can see I have a closer look at the Thompson-Middlebrough genealogy, and genealogy documents add just another layer to our family legacy, so it's important to include them in our organization process. These might include census records, immigration documents, or family tree charts that you've collected over the years. Organizing these documents by family branches or by the type of record. If you're using a genealogy software like Family Tree Maker or Roots Magic, make sure all your digital files are linked to the corresponding entries in your family tree. This makes it easy to reference documents when you're working on your genealogy and ensures everything is neatly organized. If you have physical copies, consider storing them with your other important documents or in a dedicated genealogy file. I actually digitized my entire genealogy and put it in forever. And then when they sent it back to me, now I'm going through and sorting and just keeping the things that I couldn't go to the internet and get. Like when I first started doing genealogy, census records were not available. You had to go to an archives and you had to look on the screen and take a screenshot. Well, now you can find them pretty readily and most of the time for free, so I don't necessarily need to keep that document if I have it in my forever album. So I'm only going to keep those papers that I would have to pay money to get again. So birth certificates, definitely I'd keep. Finally, this is something from one of my customers that had her father's VHS tape converted in 2021, and they had interviewed her father and captured it on this VHS tape, and she converted it as a gift to her family. You can purchase a lot of things for family, but I truly think that something like memories are the best gift to give. So that brings us to homework, and I always feel like I should be doing homework in September. So if you haven't already created your scary box, then start one. This way you know exactly the things you want to deal with, and then you can systematically work through them. Have you made an appointment with yourself daily or every second day? Remember those minutes. So if you work 15 minutes a day and you do it 365 days a year, you're going to end up with over 91 hours of time worked on your photographs or your legacy. If it's every second day, then it's going to be over 45 hours. So that's a lot of time spent in your file. If you have videos, films, or other media then that you don't know how to deal with, call your library or genealogy society. Do they have equipment that you can use? Or if you need further information about Forever and what it can do for you, send me a message and we can talk about getting you a Forever box. So that brings us to the end of week number 2. I hope you feel more confident about organizing your family videos, audio recordings, and important documents. These are such valuable pieces of your family history, and getting them organized is a crucial step in preserving your legacy. Next week, we're going to dive into creating stories from these memories, which is where the real magic starts. As always, if you have any questions or need any extra help, I'm just a message away. Thank you for being here today. So the other day I ended up sending a box of 49 tapes so I have group boxes. So I'm talking with my hands and I'm not showing myself. So I have group boxes. So I think Jolene, you and I did a group box one time. And so it's a group box is a big box, but has 3 boxes inside, and each person can put their things in their box, and that's their own box. And then that big group box is then sent to Forever, and then they digitize it, and then they send your little individual box back to you. And then if you choose to have a jump drive or a DVD or it put into your account, then you could do, oh yeah, Jolene's showing hers off. So I had a group box I sent in. And so between 2 ladies, they had 49 tapes. I couldn't believe it. I thought they were going to just give me a couple, but nope, it was everything. And then I have another lady and she was going to send hers in, but she had the bigger 16 millimeter ones. And so she had 3 that were 200 feet and 1 that's 400. The 400 says Christmas 1981. So she knows that she wants that one. But she said, the other ones I don't know because my dad used to go traveling. And so maybe it's just a bunch of stuff from when he was traveling. And she said, I just don't know if I want to spend the money to do that. And I said to her, well, you wouldn't believe how many Price is Right tapes I might have sent into Forever and have them return them and say, no, we can't digitize this because it's copyrighted. So anyways, but you never know what you'll find. So I'd never imagined that my mother kept all of those recordings of us singing Happy Birthday. I mean, they're from when the kids are very young to, older. So Linda says, we have a box of Super 8 movies transferred. A company in Kelowna did them for us. And so there are other companies. I tell you about Forever because that's my experience. And that's what I have used for my things. And I'm very satisfied. But I know there are other companies. I think where it makes it different than other companies, or Forever makes it different, is because you can not only you can have them digitized, but you can store them there as well. So you have that cloud storage, and then you can make people your beneficiaries. And right now, Google or iCloud, you have to pay a monthly fee. And if something happens and you stop paying that monthly fee, then your things might get taken down. So, it's certainly something you need to look at when you're talking about or looking at the terms and conditions for that site. So, what about everybody else? Anybody else have any comments? This week, we're going to dive into creating stories and from those memories, which is that's really where the magic begins, right? Where you're writing the stories. I know Jolene is great for making books. She always goes on these fabulous trips and she makes books about her trips. I can't wait to see you next week. I'm going on a little trip with one of my girlfriends, and so I'll have something. Deborah says, what is the best scanner for books, photos, documents when you're doing research at a facility. I mean, so I used to have a Flip Pal. Flip Pal is no longer available. I still have my Flip Pal, but if you have one, you can still use one. You just have to make sure that if you're going to a archives, if they allow things like that. The other thing is I use PhotoMine on my phone. It's a scanning app, and that works. Candace is nodding her head. I think she has it too, and it works really well. I use it, like I went to, oh, that lady that had the 38 tapes. She has a, they call it a century farm. And so I scanned a photo that was right on the wall behind the glass, and it turned out perfectly. And it was just like in like seconds. It cropped it out. And so, I mean, I could have she had quite a few of them. I could have made a page just easily, like using that. So I would try PhotoMine. It's an app for your phone. And it works, I think, for iPhone or Android. I have an Android, so I know. Candace, do you have an Android or iPhone? iPhone? Yeah, so it works for both. And I mean, it's $15 a month, and I don't get anything for telling you. It's $15 a month, and or you can pay $40 for a year. So it was easy for $40. Then if I want to go to somebody's house, I can take it along with me. So, and of course you have to ask at the facility whether you're allowed to take your phone, because the Albert Archives is pretty, they don't allow a lot of things. So you have to ask. So Candace says, thank you, good information, spurring me on to get my items together and sort it out. I mean, that's the whole, get you motivated. And then she said, except when you're at the courthouse, that doesn't allow cameras. Well, and that's true. I mean, then you might have to resort to, asking them to make you copies. Vimeo, what do I know about Vimeo? This week I got email messages from them. Oh, not for me. Vimeo is a place where you can store your recordings. So I know that some businesses would record something, then store it, and that's a way of giving access to people. If you have videos, I would because you do have forever, put them in forever, and then just if you want to give somebody access, just give them one-time access to just that file, right? Oh, you're muted. No. Oh, there you are.
So should I just ignore them? Like I didn't know what that was a result after last week. All of a sudden I got all this.
Oh, maybe your computer was listening to what we were talking about. Oh, I know.
That's why I went. So I'm just going to delete them because I don't need it if I have forever.
No. I mean,
Okay.
some people use it for a way of storing their files so that they can give them access later.
Okay, thank you.
So it's called PhotoMine, and I'll tell you how to spell it. And like I say, it works really well. Right now I'm working on a project that I have my coffee table is covered with my mother's paper handwritten recipes. And so I'm scanning all the recipes, and then from PhotoMine, I can actually send them as long as I send them 5 at a time, I can send them to forever. And then once they're in forever, I put them in an album called Family Recipes, and then I just put the name of the recipe for each page, and then I've given everybody in my family access to that folder, and everybody can upload and download. Upload, they can upload whatever they want, but I might get rid of it. But if the idea is that they're going to upload their photographs of them making the recipe, and then I'll make a recipe book out of all that. But like I said, my waistline wasn't going to take it if I did, if I made everything. Candace says in PhotoMine, if you use a PC or Mac, you can download it to your computer all at one time and then upload to it forever. So yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a good, I was just trying to do it from my couch. You know, I do this, I can't sit still. So even when I'm watching TV, I have to be doing something. But anyways, and then the other thing is with PhotoMine, you can also do it for slides. Candace, have you used it for slides? I haven't done that yet. So okay. Yeah, I don't know. I know you have to have like a kind of, I think you have like an iPad, a white screen behind, and but I'm gonna try that because I know I'm very strange, but I belong to the Edmonton Historical Facebook page, and there was a lady there, and she had all of her uncle's slides, and he took really fabulous photos, and I mean, a great uncle. I mean, so he had photos of the McDonald Hotel and all sorts of places, things. And I love all those things because my great grandfather put the roof on the McDonald Hotel. So anyway, she was talking in the Facebook page that she had taken the photos or the slides that she wanted, and she was going to throw the box away. And I went, no, I'll take it. I'll take it. So I took it. So now I have this box of, my sons are going to go, what the heck is this stuff? But because this man traveled all over the world. So that's gonna be my project in the winter. I'm gonna look at these slides and see where he went. So I'm weird, I know. But anyways, yeah, so I hope you work on your scary box this week and next week. Yeah, Linda says another scary box. I know. Maybe I should put a note on it. This is not my scary box. This is somebody else's scary box. So the kids don't go, I don't know who these people are. But anyways, and next week it'll be about stories. So we'll see you next week. And thanks for coming this week. Bye-bye.